You are now listening to an episode of the Carefree Black Girl Podcast, where we discuss everything carefree, black, and girl. I'm your producer, QUANNA, the MC, filling in for Jasmine Taylor TV and Hazell Harvey.
It's your girl, Phoenix Lux, Big Doctor Lux. I'm your favorite fantasy baddie, Thera Fairy. You can find me at Phoenix Lux on all platforms. And I'm passing it off to Big Liz.
Period. And you already know, it's your girl, Big Liz, a.k.a. Leslie Latrice. And I may be, and probably am already, your favorite veteran turned entrepreneur and also content creator. And
I know that's
period.
right.
Period.
So at the Carefree Black Girl Podcast, we have a few segments. The first segment is the Carefree Black Girl of the Week, where we highlight some bomb Carefree Black girl that's really out here killing it. The next segment is the girls segment, where we discuss all things like we said, carefree, black, and girl. It's usually those moments that's like girl. All right. The Get Free segment is where we talk about ways to get free. This could be dating, this could be health and wellness, or this could be a game. We also have a few games at the Carefree Black Girl Podcast. One of those games being Who Said That? Where we read a phrase and you guess who said that. Hot or not. And we also have This or That. Oh, also another one that we will not play today is FUCK, Marry and Heal. We don't kill anyone because at Carefree Black Girl, we put praying hands on people. We don't kill them. All right. So we will kick it off with Leslie as we discuss the Carefree Black Girl of the Week. We're actually going to bring y'all in on this one.
So we need all of y'all participation.
So this
is a
is
safe space. Okay, so just throw your guesses out there. But we have 3 Carefree Black Girls of the Week. So I'm going to read a phrase and y'all are going to guess who y'all think I'm talking about. Okay. So the first one is, she is a Bayesian princess. Her breakout video was wet and rainy. Okay, and dang. I got she better finish the sentence. Well, okay, yeah. So the last part of that was half the world has been pronouncing her name wrong for over a decade. Y'all know how to Rihanna, right? CEO.
that's a few official name.
Right. Okay. Okay, yeah. So her name is Rihanna. Robin. Okay, period.
You got the next one too.
Yes. Okay. So number 2 is, she is a plus size diva, and dang. Question. First of all, the rules need to be let your girl finish. Now,
How you know she wasn't going to say good morning to Dibby?
What about Monique? Like all the other ones.
It actually is Lizzo.
But it is Lizzo, though. But it is.
But she is not afraid to twerk and play the flute. Okay, so that is Lizzo. And then I don't know, y'all might not get this one, but let me finish the whole thing first before y'all start y'all.
Please let her finish it.
Okay, so the next one is, this powerhouse is responsible for a TV show that made us all check our relationships and friendships. God dang it.
Can we finish?
And she is a naturalista who recently got into the spirit business, aka libations.
You had it right. Issa Rae.
Issa Rae. Yes,
they didn't come to play.
They didn't come to play with us, y'all. They guessed every single one off rip before I could even finish the sentence. So shout out to y'all. And shout out to the Carefree Black Girls, Issa Rae, Lizzo, and Rihanna, if y'all didn't know.
Alrighty. Yes.
Period.
Ooh, and so the next segment is going to be, I'm going to take it away. So today we're going to be discussing the state of women in rap. Because, girl, it's a lot going on. So with the rise of women in rap, how are artists like Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, shaping the way women in rap are viewed and their success? Like, how do we view them? I'm going to let, who feels it?
I guess I can feel a girl. Because
I can go in, because you know I can go in.
No, I already know you know.
Okay.
So I think, just in my, I guess, history of both Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, I feel like they both came out the gate super vulnerable and giving us things that we never seen, before. Or at least for me, I haven't seen a lot of people just kind of come out and step in their truth. And that's what I feel like Megan Thee Stallion has done for sure because of her, just being open about what she's going through. She definitely has a way of staying connected with her community, like through her lives. And I feel like if I ever did go to a concert, like I do feel like I would have some sort of connection with her just because of how she communicates with her community. And then with Nicki Minaj, although my girl, I ain't gonna say too much about my girl, but she was my girl for a long time when she first came out. And mainly because I felt like she was super authentic about who she was. And, all pink hairdos was different than most of the people we saw at that time in that era, in my opinion. And so I just think that they have set the tone for women in rap to just wear what they want to wear, be who they want to be, say what they want to say, and live in that authentically. So that's how I feel about it.
I think Nikki did. It was a drought when Nikki came out like right when I started college. So I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was a drought. So she really did carry it on her back for a long time. I don't like a lot of her late shenanigans.
No, me
she need
neither.
therapy, and also I'm a hottie. But I will say,
I
know you gotta let the people know
every single time.
I gotta let the people know because my girl keeps a brand deal: Nike, Popeyes, whatever.
Revlon.
This is not a plug endorsement of any
Lord
women's
Jesus.
rapper.
Yes, no.
But Megan, if you need like a therapist or something, you can call me, girl. But I think what I like the most about her is her breaking the barrier of how artists do their brand deal. Because the deal she had with Warner Brothers was the first of its kind.
Okay.
And she owns all her masters. And when she was initially going back in court with 1501, a lot of the older male rappers made it seem like they were basically mansplaining. Like, your deal, this is what you get. Everybody gets a bad deal at first. And she was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And she has this record-breaking deal, and it's like her being authentically herself and in charge of how I want to work and how I want to give art.
Yeah.
Art is something I really respect.
Yeah.
So I really respect a lot of the girls. Even though I'm a hottie, I listen to everybody. And I just like seeing a lot of the collaboration with a lot of the newer girls, too, because you'll see a lot of them on each other's tracks and
Yeah.
each other
Yeah,
up.
I love
that's
that
very
about
So
this new
I really do
little-
like that.
Yeah. Same.
You said so. But yeah, so I agree with what all y'all say. I know we said Nicki Minaj and Megan, but those are just like two examples, basically. I do think that a lot of the girls are breaking the mold today because women artists, I feel like, just have to be so many things. You gotta rap. You gotta look a certain way. You gotta have all these videos together. You gotta have this. You gotta have that. So while I do think that y'all covered that question, I'm gonna put in another one. Do y'all think the representation is there right now? I'm gonna start
Okay.
because I think that personally in this last year, women rappers have, honestly, I think that they've changed the state of hip hop. I love what's happening with Doechii. I love the fact that she's able to keep pushing her music at higher levels. I'm talking about somebody who only did 11K sales the first week, and didn't say, I'm gonna go home and cry about it. They say, hey, Jimmy Fallon, hey, can you put me on this stuff? So it's like we get to see a darker woman on a team that really cares. You know what I mean? Like, these are people making calls for her. These people aren't, like, some of these people are calling her, but a lot of that is her team saying, hey, we got this artist that the streets love, but the charts not really appreciating. Can you give them a shot? And it's just interesting how that's being done, because it's like we really haven't seen it since Lauryn Hill. But when we did see it with Lauryn Hill, she was an actor, she was all these things. Doechii's an artist, you know what I mean? And a lot of times we don't see that. So I'm grateful, honestly, to be in this time where we have the Doechiis, we have even Rhapsody. I feel like no matter where you go, people throw her name in the conversation. We love her down, and the fact that she can be in these conversations and not be like, have mass appeal, I feel like is a testament to where women's rap and where hip hop is going as a whole. Because I'm telling you, this whole Doechii thing could have went totally left. It could have been blind. She could have been mute. But somebody said, no, we're going to keep pushing it. And I love the fact that her team is doing it and that the world seems to be opening up. How do y'all feel?
I like the diversity. I'm glad you mentioned Rhapsody because I feel like if you're someone who is not sure if you like rap or hip hop is for you, there is like a female rapper for everybody.
Oh my
Everybody,
gosh.
Like,
Yeah, that's so
I am
true.
so glad that women rappers are now not having to prove themselves to men and try to rap or be hard or compete. It's like you got your party girl rappers, you got lyricists like Rhapsody, you have people who are very lyrical and abstract like Doechii. And so I just like the diversity that whatever your flavor is, there is a female rapper for you out there.
I like that too.
I'll say that I think that because of how well and just how many amazing female artists there are out there, they are setting the tone and making it a little bit more accessible for up and coming female artists to get their foot in the door. And I'll be the first to admit, like, I'm not super embedded in, the music culture, but your girl loved what is it, Rhythm and Flow? Y'all seen that on Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to
Honey.
our girls that was on there.
Honey, the girls ate them men down. I don't care what
really
nobody
I'm still
got to
mad
say
about who
it.
won.
Yeah,
Me
but it's
too.
okay. But that's okay,
I'm-
girl. A black man won, but he was a black man.
Shout out to
so
Jazz
shout
with
out
the
to
S.
black men. But
Shout out to Yoshi.
I mean, he was good, but those girls was really
no, they was
like,
eating.
top
They was
tier.
eating.
So that brings me to my next two questions because we're going to try to stay within the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like not even black, women rappers have to choose marketability? Ooh, that word ate me up. Y'all know the word.
It's all right. It's okay, girl.
Over lyricism. That's the first question. Do you think they have to choose one over the other? And do you think that the industry pushes competition versus collaboration more? That's a loaded question, so I'm gonna answer it. I think that last year changed the dynamic of women rappers. I think that for a long time, there was a lot of marketability over lyricism. But when you have so many people that are marketable and can rap, you gotta just let them all in. Because at this point, it's like Azalea Banks, she told Doechii she was too dark, but look at her now. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that goes into the same thing. Is like, we put the girls against each other so that they can be marketable. But I think that this last year just proved that you could just rap. You could just be an artist. You could just be and still do your thing. I remember last year when this whole beef was going on with Cardi B and all the Barbs with the thing and all that. People were like begging begging Doja Cat and Doechii to like get in. And they both was like, no, we ain't got nothing to do with
We
this.
good.
We making our music. We on tour. And then I look at the way their careers are going versus the girls who got involved. Do you feel what I'm saying? It's something to be noted about people who just do the work and mind their own business.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion on it. I'm happy to hear what y'all say because it's like they wanted people to do this competition thing, but it ain't working no more.
I think-
people really just.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna talk about like the marketability versus lyricism comparison, but I think we might have had this. We were gonna talk about this, but like as it relates to the same things from the male side of things, right? Like I don't feel like they scrutinize men artists as much for how they look versus, I mean, for example,
Hello, Biggie Smalls.
my favorite
R.I.P.
artist and rapper is J. Cole, and they literally will say a few things about how he's dressing now, the dreads, not as, I guess, unneat to some people, and just him, in his attire that's just like laid back type vibes. But my dog is a lyricist, okay? Like that's why I like him, and that's why I will continue to support him. But when it comes to women who are lyricists, I don't think they get the same type of love if they were to show up, not dressed to the nines, don't got their makeup done, hair looking kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they would get that same type of reception as men would. So I think that there is room to grow in that area because I have not seen somebody who I guess would be the J. Cole female version
Right.
that has gotten that same type of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because even Rhapsody, she wears a full beat now. She's always dressed to the nines, even if it's urban wear. She ain't showing up looking crusty. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to marketability, I think it depends, because I think a lot of artists now, and I'm friends with some artists, it depends on how they see their career. Do I want to be like a superstar, or do I just want to have
Yeah.
my
That is
thing,
true.
That is
and I
very
want to make
true.
That is
money,
true.
and I'm okay with not getting a major deal and being on all the talk shows, because you see those artists tend to have a little bit more freedom of expression versus the ones who know that if they want like those $1 million advances, they're gonna have to play ball because of
Yeah.
all of the parts involved. I think for the competition, this might be a little bit controversial, but I don't know if it's the artists themselves, but I think it's the parasocial relationships of fan bases.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I'm a hottie, but I listen to everybody. I don't know
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not about to be like, spending hours online arguing with other people about somebody I
Somebody
don't
else, baby.
know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know
So-
that's sick of
Crazy
a lot
work.
of these Wanks people behind these black pages that be trying to
True
stir
that.
stuff up. But we gonna wrap that conversation up, and that concludes the girls segment. It usually is longer, but for the purposes of today, we gonna keep it short. So this next segment is all about getting free, but today we're gonna talk about non-traditional dating. Everybody on this panel has a really different dating style, but I'm gonna let Phoenix take this away because this is your segment, girl. Go ahead.
Hey, come
Let's
on,
talk about the
bud.
spicy stuff. So we're gonna talk about just, are we moving towards post monogamy? And as we see more representation, not all good, some really good, of polyamory and different types of relationship styles, we are wondering if we are moving post monogamy. I feel like, while that is a practice, and I actually counsel people who are in polyamorous relationships, no judgment here, because it can work really well, but it takes a lot of intention. I do think because of the recent events politically and the social changes, I do see more of a trend of people being more afraid of that, and it's just unintentionally people are being more conservative. They're finding Christ again, and they're getting extra conservative because of that. But I think in real time, as a therapist, I think we will eventually move, like, you can do monogamy, but eventually polyamory will be as accepted because it can work.
You don't feel like you looking at me for
I'm
Okay,
just saying.
so I mean, I don't agree, disagree, or I can just only speak from experience. So I am a polyamorous person. I am a bisexual polyamorous dater. I've been with my main partner for 7 years. He's a male, but I won't stop liking it, being attracted to women or fembies or however you say it. The more I do have conversations with younger people, they are saying like, oh, I have a girlfriend and a boyfriend, or I have a boyfriend who used to date guys, but he dates girls. So I do think that sexuality is becoming more fluid. And I think that because people are understanding that a lot of what we're taught is based on what society has told us and not like what people really feel, I think that a lot of people are going against that. But I don't know. I just think that as a society, people are doing more of what they want to do. So non-traditional relationships may be the thing. I am seeing a lot of these open relationships, which I feel like they're high-key, like polyamorous relationships. But people don't realize even within polyamorous relationships, there's different types of poly. So me, I would consider myself a solo poly person. So while I will have like long-term partners, I move like kind of like a solo act. I wouldn't have a pod. I wouldn't have my people that I'm dating
Together.
A pod.
Yeah.
Like I don't do that. I might date you, and you all are in your own worlds. Like so
Okay.
it just doesn't really has like a one size fits all, but I do think that if people are going to have these type of relationships, that we as a society has to learn how to communicate more, because it's like you can't be expecting everybody to understand everything, especially if you've been with somebody for 7 years and you only been with this person for 6 months. How are you going to think that they're going to understand you on the same level? So I think that a lot of times the sexual aspect of a lot of these things causes the issues versus the actual relationship aspect, because a lot of the relationship things can be discussed. It's like once you put in the other part, that's what becomes like a bit tricky.
Well, I mean,
What do you think?
I don't really got nothing on that one because I feel like you touched it in reference to like just how generationally, like Gen Z, like y'all
It's
some
just
free
different,
beings,
you know what I mean? It's
you know,
free
like
beings, you
yeah,
know?
y'all
I'm
have
a
a really
millennial, you know?
I wouldn't say non-traditional mind, but y'all ain't with the bull crap. Like y'all gonna do what y'all want to do type stuff, and I definitely as a millennial appreciate that. But I think just to transition to the second question a little bit, which was with the rise of fluid dating, can traditional and non-traditional dating exist within the same relationship? Because you mentioned fluidity. I think that it can, and I can give an example of my relationship. I am in a monogamous relationship, and I may not be answering this question right, but my boyfriend has a lot of traditional views as it relates to like just household things and things that I feel like he would be more rigid in. And we've had a lot of like back and forth about his views on things, where me is, I wouldn't say I operate in the gray area, but I'm definitely more open to different perspectives and different things. If you can communicate it to me to a point where I can understand it, I can get with it if it don't violate anything that I got going on, like my boundaries and stuff. So, and you mentioned like it's about conversation. Like some people may not agree with how other people's relationships are, but that ain't your business. Like you're not in that relationship. So at the end of the day, that's how I feel about a lot of things. Like if I'm communicating, me and my man got to understand it, then I don't care what y'all got to say about me and his relationship. You feel me?
Yeah, that's kind of how it is for me. Like I get a lot of side eyes. Like I'm from Savannah, Georgia, but I lived in New York for 10 years. So in New York, it's a different world. That's liberal city, right? In Savannah, they're like, "You're what? What's going on here? But you been with him for what? Are you getting married?" I actually don't want to get married. I actually don't care about it. And then they be like, "What? What? Nope, that's not for me."
That's the
So
dirty
it's like
South.
you have to. Honestly, I just think that if people are going to choose these lifestyles, they have to just be solid in them.
Yeah.
And people could say they'll do it, but when you get around the family and them judgmental views, you feel a little clammy.
Well,
So
I just want to remind people as a married person, and I have a lot of married people in my family. Your grandma said because she couldn't get a bank account to like the 60s or 70s. Some
man.
people did monogamy because it wasn't
Survival.
a choice. It was
Yeah.
survival. They couldn't get jobs. They weren't allowed to do certain things. And so when you look at a historical context, when you're forming your relationship, this is my therapist talking a little bit, remember that it is your own. And if you're curious, you don't want nobody to know, you could read The Ethical Slut or Polysecure. You know, you put it in your notes. And I think whether you do monogamy or polyamory, you should read it anyway because there are communication styles that you can learn. The term I said earlier, compersion, you need a lot of that in polyamory and being in a non-monogamous relationship. So just understanding that, and we, as a married person, I've had those conversations with my husband because it's like I said, when we didn't have options, or your grandmother, my great grandmother never left her state.
yeah,
She
some
never
people
left
never
the
took
country.
bus, and
So
like, just so many
her
things.
world was small. So there weren't many choices. And when my great grandfather passed, she never got with anyone else again. And that was just what people did. But we don't have to live that way.
Right.
So I think, you should think about it and do you.
Well, before we close that up, I would say no matter if it's a monogamous relationship or a polyamorous relationship, just keep an open line of communication. Express yourself and understand that your boundaries are yours, and if somebody doesn't respect them, it's okay to move on. All right, so we have 5 minutes. So I think we're going to play another game. It's called Bop or Not, and this is going to be for y'all to engage. So we're going to say something, and then on the count of 3, you're going to say either bop or not. All right. So Charlotte food scene. 1, 2, 3.
Bob?
Really?
Bob.
Wait, raise your hands. Who's not? Who's not for Charlotte food scene? Okay.
Okay,
That's not an option.
How y'all? Okay, so I would say my answer. The reason why I said not is because I'm an eater, and I feel like Charlotte be blowing me sometimes. Like it be like I've gone out places and I waited an hour to eat and get a chicken finger or a chicken wing that's like my finger, and I'm like, what is this?
Okay.
So I feel like Charlotte is getting the Atlanta plague, the flower walls, the cute decor.
I did
and
pay
Okay,
$15 for like
okay,
a
I
taco.
have
okay.
had great food in Charlotte at Hole in the Walls, and so for that's why I gave it a nod, is because I literally had to like go search for these.
Dang.
So that's why I said not, but yeah, that's my opinion.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also from Savannah. Savannah cooks very well.
I'm biased. That's how I say. I'm from South Carolina, so
Yeah.
the food
And
is good.
You think it's good?
very
In
much.
South Carolina?
Very
You
much
said
so.
Charlotte.
Yeah, but she was saying that she was from South Carolina.
Oh, I was about to be
South Carolina
good too,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah,
talking about here.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. It's different. Like I know I can go home and go somewhere and maybe spend $30 and eat good, but here it's gonna be 55
okay,
and
that's
maybe.
that I don't like that.
I feel like for me, if we talk about like the Charlotte food scenes, I'm going like X out like the chain restaurants, because I feel like that it too is also giving Atlanta vibes, you know, like where the service trash and the food kind of be busting, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But I would say I like it. I mean, I like especially local food places and stuff that really be,
Well, you send me your list.
trying to build community and stuff like that. Yeah, I like that. Mhm.
Send me your list. Okay, we got two more. We're gonna keep them real quick. Charlotte dating scene, bop or not? One.
Oh, dang.
Well,
The folks are not
that
having
was
it.
unanimous. So
That was unanimous. So we're gonna move on from that
we're
one.
gonna move on.
Last one, Charlotte Nightlife.
But not.
Okay, so this is what we're doing after today. We need to get a list and we need to all compile
Yeah,
the food.
'cause I need
the
the
nightlife.
box.
The dating scene, I'm gonna leave that up to y'all because we
Yeah,
can't.
but the food and nightlife, we need the box on the
Ooh.
list.
They should suggest a restaurant to us. You should create a poll and we should try it and do
We
it.
gonna-
Oh,
we gonna
yeah,
try
that'd be
taste
good.
Mhm.
Okay, so before we go, we're gonna do this quick. What's something you are manifesting in 2025? For me, I want to make $200,000 this year.
Ooh.
For me, I want a successful opening of my private practice, the Care Salon, and to buy my mama a house.
Oh, okay, period. Okay. I'm manifesting loving on myself real bad.
Keep it
That's
cute.
it.
Keep it
Keep it
simple.
cute.
All right, y'all. So before we go, we're gonna get some fan submitted questions. We're gonna take 3 questions, y'all. So if you're at a table, just try to sit with your table and get the question, y'all. I'm gonna answer what we got. One that was submitted online. Anonymous said, "Is it important for Black women to create inclusive spaces for all people?"
No.
I'm gonna
That's
say
right.
no because they
Yes.
don't care about us, and I don't like that. And I feel like ever since I started Carefree Black, what she said?
No, I said I'm agreeing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said no. Everybody said no.
No.
They didn't- it wasn't
No,
nothing.
I'm not saying. I'm saying I agree with them. Yes, they said
No, I
no.
said everybody said no. She
Oh,
said
okay,
that's the
okay,
question.
cool,
I would say
okay.
everybody said no. So
All
it's
right,
not,
okay, yeah, no, it's no point.
nothing to
Right.
go in. Okay, so we'll send the questions to the audience before we go. Anybody got any questions for us? Any comments about what we talked about? Feel free to put it out there. We got enough time for like 3. Three. You can raise your hand.
Remember,
Don't be
it's a
scared.
safe space. It's a safe space.
It's a safe space. It's a safe space. Okay, if y'all don't got questions, I need y'all to watch all episodes of Carefree Black Girl Podcast if you have not watched it. Season 10 is amazing. We just reached 100 episodes for the lifetime of Carefree Black Girl.
Yay.
But now that we're in Charlotte, we are trying to stay in Charlotte. So make sure y'all listen to the show, engage with the cast. Once again, I'm QUANNA, the producer. I will not be on the podcast, so don't look for me. This is...
Dr. Phoenix Lux. You can find me at Phoenix Lux on all platforms, except on Instagram. I'm Blurty Love. I'm just not going to change it. So.
Yeah, I feel that. Y'all can find me everywhere at Leslie Latrice. I am Leslie Latrice, but y'all can definitely catch me on YouTube every Sunday around 3:30. And again, everything Leslie Latrice on there. And make sure y'all keep up with the conversation Okay, on all platforms, Carefree Black Girl Inc., except for Twitter, which is CFBG Pod.
Yes,
So, yeah.
and that's it. I'm QUANNA. You can find me online at QUANNAMC on all platforms. Next week, we will have another vision board party at the Drop CLT. It's an LGBTQIA resource center. After that, we will kick off our 12-city tour, starting at South by Southwest and ending in Ghana. The Charlotte stop will be in August at Camp Norton. This is an episode of Carefree Black Girl Podcast. Signing out. Bye.
Bye.
Shout out to our executive producer, Wise, who's over here in the corner.